Good afternoon, good evening. I want to welcome you to the first webinar organized by Microsoft 365 at Work. Today, we will talk about Microsoft Viva products and especially focus on the Viva Connections. At the same time, we will talk a lot about Microsoft Teams, Microsoft SharePoint Online, and the way how current situation could impact your organization. At the moment, you can join the webinar using YouTube, using Facebook, or using LinkedIn. So you will be able to switch between this platform. If any problems will appear, you will be always be able to leave any comments, any questions. In case you would like to do that, just use the chat window on the social platform you are using to viewing or to watching current webinar. If any technical problems will appear, please feel free to switch between the platforms. To do that, just use office365adwork.com/live. There you will find the place to left any additional information. Sorry, to /join. There you can switch between current possible solutions to watch, to stream the live webinar. If you would like to get any additional materials that I will present today and recorded session of the webinar, if you already registered to the webinar, you will get that. If you joined through the platform and you did not sign up, visit office365adwork.com/live or scan the QR code presented on the screen. You will get additional materials later tomorrow. I will also describe during the webinar what kind of additional elements you will get there. And I want to welcome all people that joining. Magnus, welcome. Magnus is one of our first readers. So welcome, Marcus. Thank you for joining. And again, feel free to use the chat window if you want to add additional questions, comments. I will stop during the webinar to get through your questions and try to answer them. Of course, during the session, I will also get through some kind of Q&A later on. And if any unaddressed interesting topics will come up, I will extend later on the summary or additional materials I will send you tomorrow. And before we will get to the Viva Connections topic, who am I? So why am consuming your time from perspective of this live webinar? I'm author of the blog Microsoft 365 at Work, known on the address office365adwork.com. You can also find me on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or in Twitter. Currently, I'm working in Microsoft 365 Fast Track team, and I'm helping on daily basis customers achieve more from perspective of using Microsoft 365 based on own licenses there. In free time, I'm beekeeper. So if you ever looking for the good quality honey and you will be in Poland, you are feel free to contact with me. And to do not go much details about that, what we will talk about today. So for sure, we will talk about what Microsoft Viva apps are in general. So why these applications are provided by Microsoft, what they are, because there are multiple apps, not one application, how they differ from each other, why we're talking about Microsoft Viva Connections at the very beginning. I will show you the live demo about how to use that application today, why it's important to do that, and also we'll get to some kind of Q&A during the webinar. From perspective of the general topic, so why at all we are talking about Microsoft Viva Connections and other applications that are provided by Microsoft. Why this topic is important today. And before we will get there, I want to ask you, from where are you working today? So what is your place today that you use for your office space? Is it office in your company, home office, or are you working the hybrid mode? Please leave the comment in the webinar. I want to see how it differs from perspective of the people who join us. What I can tell you, I will share with you some kind of business statistics about this process. I think them very well. I'm working from home office almost 2 years, and also in the middle term strategy, I'm not planning to get back to the office. So I wonder how it looks like from your perspective, how this differs. Do you plan to are you working from home office, or you plan to go back? I see Maciej saying he working hybrid, Diva home, and Marek also hybrid. So you can see Darren home office. So you can see we are the mixture of the models, how we want to work today and how this kind of process looks like. Also see additional comments like home office, hybrid model. So you can imagine Dominika also working in hybrid. So some of the people left in the home office, some of them, Łukasz also writing that he working from home, some getting back to the offices, and yeah, Adeline writing that she working from her bedroom. So this is exactly what we're thinking about today's reality, about how today's situation looks like from perspective of possible model of the work. So some of you, and probably this is also general statement, some of this will be something that will differ. We work in the hybrid model. Some of people will left in the home office, some will work directly, but from the chat you shared, not that many people wrote that they will gaming back to the office itself. Also Asha and Arthur writing that they also working from home, and we can tell that we get to the model that technology address this challenging time. This is the statistics from Microsoft 365 Analytics that shows how this year how usage of Office 365, Microsoft 365 services increase in time. So how many more meetings, emails, chats, and docs were created during the time when we were forced to work at home and probably later on stay there. And what does it say for us? We can tell that technology is there. Of course, I'm focusing very strongly on Microsoft 365. We all know that Microsoft Teams is here, and we can tell that this is technology that addressing that mode. We can work from home remotely or in the hybrid mode using Microsoft Teams, and the technology address that. This will be the point that I will get back later on, because this will be important for the further steps when we will talk about the Viva applications. But at the same time, when we're thinking about how that kind of situation impact the people, so not technology, but our workers across our organization, 70% of all office workers saying that they plan to continue flexible remote work. And what is the source of the statistics? This is the Microsoft 2021 World Trend Index. This is the survey done on 30 plus thousands of office workers across the globe. Microsoft asks about multiple questions connected about the well-being, work behavior, expectations about the future. And this is also the document I will share with you tomorrow. So if you did not sign up for the webinar, left your email in the office365@work.com/live or scan the QR code, I will share with you the whole report that describes how people are impacted by current situation. And again, I'm the person who working from home. Most of our participants of the webinar also saying that working in the hybrid mode or from the home office. At the same time, what happened with the people? People moving away from the office buildings. So almost 12% of people describes that they will move or already moved about 80 kilometers, 50 miles from current office building, and 22% planning to do that in some period of time. What does it mean? We like this model of work, and to feel confident and well, we leaving the cities. Maybe we living outside of the cities, or we planning to do that. To be fair, I'm living 40 kilometers from Krakow, outside of the city. So I fit into these results of the survey very well. And from perspective of important impacts that this element's showing, 41% of office workers saying that they planning to change the job because of the possibilities they get thanks to the remote work. At the same time, more of them saying exactly that. 46% of the people saying that main reason behind it is the possibility of the remote work. And again, to be fair, I changed the job in June, so I'm also one of the people that fitting to these statistics. And what is important, this is the element that could impact our organizations, our companies. So of course, people can work remotely. The technology will address that. Maybe they will leave the city again. That is not something that will impact our companies or our productivity. But it could happen that if we count to two, 50% of our meeting will change the job in the next 12 months. There is possibility that something like that will happen. And moreover, we're doing all of that, and almost 40% of people saying they feel exhausted in the current situation. So we're doing a lot of changes in our life to improve the quality of the work we have, but at the same time, it's not something that taking our well-being to the good approach. And again, this is the second element that I will highlight here: well-being of our employees. That will impact. Yeah, Diva saying she moved 1,142 kilometers away from the office, so you can imagine how big that change is. But I fully understood that, and this will be the situation that our companies we're working in will face, and this is the reality we're living right now. And the reason we're talking about the Microsoft Viva applications, because now is the time where our companies where we're working need to do something to help our employees, to help our workers who may be working remotely, may be working in the hybrid mode, maybe are not in the great condition from perspective of the well-being, to be better, to have better well-being, better connection with our organization from perspective of the things we can do. Of course, this is not the magic wand that will change the reality, but Viva applications are the answer or tools that you can use today to improve the quality of work of your employees, and thanks to that, impact the changes or challenges that current situation will impact on your company where you're working. And to be fair, what are these Microsoft Viva apps and why it's important? We need to face the challenges that current challenging situation will happen. And also, I shared with you the statistic from Microsoft. I will also include to the email I will send tomorrow the podcast from Harvard Business Review that describe exactly similar numbers from perspective of how people today planning long-term strategy for their career. Exact the same numbers focus on the US market, but still exactly the same thing. So this is not that Microsoft creates some statistics that prove something. This is the way how people behave and feel today. And Microsoft Viva apps, and these are 4 applications today, these are the elements that will help to support your business users from perspective of balanced productivity. So productivity focus on hybrid, maybe remote work, and also people personal well-being. Elements that I would say we were not focused that much in the past. And from perspective of how Microsoft rollouts the product, there were always big boom. So big applications like SharePoint, like Teams, a lot of features, a lot of business cases. You need to figure out how to use that to give the value to your organization, to your company. These applications have very clear business case. Take care about your employees from perspective of productivity and well-being in the times of the hybrid work. And we have 4 applications: Viva Connections, Viva Learning, Viva Insights, and Viva Topics. At the very beginning, I will shortly get through Learning, Insights, and Viva Topics, describe them. And then we will get to the Viva Connections and talk more about this application and how you can use it today in your company. What is important, all of these applications are Microsoft Teams focused. There is reason behind it. When we will get to the Viva Connections, I will show you exact business case that's showing why these apps are focused to be deployed and used on the Microsoft Viva. But when you're thinking about remote work and hybrid environment and people working from different places, ask yourself what will be the first tool you will launch at the morning, Outlook or Teams. I launching Microsoft Teams, to be fair. And this is the answer why these apps are focused to be working on Microsoft Teams rather than separated application. Microsoft Viva Learning. This is the application that today is present in the public preview. You need to sign up for it to get access to it. It will be probably free, but access to it will requires maybe bigger value, will require additional elements. So what the solutions does, it gives you the possibility to build centralized learning center, which will be online for your employees, which will aggregate multiple sources of the training materials. It could be SAP SuccessFactors, it could be EDX, it could be Pluralsight, it could be your internal trainings that you will build on SharePoint. This is the platform that will aggregate that, centralize it, and gives you possibility to work on that and share these trainings with your business users. Final version will be present at least last quarter of this year and first quarter of the next year. And it will give you the possibility to organize that kind of learning materials, share that through the Teams, share that through the mobile devices, and then also prepare some kind of environment when you can assign these trainings to the business users, monitor the progress, share additional elements, maybe rate people, comment about that, but also perfect solution to some kind of onboarding process or the trainings you want to provide for your employees, and which is today present in the multiple platforms. If you will think about it, how many different training platforms you have in the organization, this is the solution that will help you to aggregate that in the one place and then provide it via Microsoft Teams. If you have any additional questions, feel free to use the chat to leave them. I will stop for a moment after every app to take a look about that. If you have any questions about Viva Learning, then I will, or insights and topics, I will try to answer them during the meeting. If I will see them later on, I will get back to them moving forward. The application will be present soon. It will be probably free. It's not yet confirmed for 100%, but it will require us to deliver the content. Like if you would like to use SAP SuccessFactors and trainings there, you will need to license for that. So this is not the magic solution that will provide that, but more aggregator of your content. Viva Insight, this is the solution that is already present. And this is super focused application about the personal well-being, time management, productivity in the time of hybrid work. It will have two models, one free solution and one premium one. Free solution will give you the possibility to monitor your performance, will advise you about your solution. I will also show you the live demo of that application and recommend you the behavior like pricing other people, finding the spaces for the focus work across the week. And also the premium part will be focused more on the managers that monitor work of the employees. They will get access to the summary of the well-being of the employees, but it will be anonymized. So it will be not, very deep person name there. There will be more statistics, what you can do to improve the performance of your employees. So pricing cost, these are the licenses per manager view. And this will be, if you ever work on them, this is the mixture of workplace analytics and Microsoft 365 analytics with the focus on the well-being. It is already present. You already can get some kind of email notification from Viva Insight on the weekly basis about your performance, what you can do. And final version will be present in the first quarter of the next year. This is the application that you can already see probably on your Microsoft Teams. This is also something that I will show you today very quickly. Mobile app that will provide the same thing, and the manager view that will gives you the possibility to monitor performance and well-being of your employees across the team. And this is the premium part of the solution. The third Viva application, and again, if you will have any questions or comments, leave them in the chat. I will get back to them during the webinar to if this will be needed to go back to the apps. Viva Topics, this is the most complex, most advanced solution today from the Viva family. Previously, it was named SharePoint Syntax, but today this is the solution, is rebranded for Viva Topics. This is AI-based knowledge layer for your organization. And this is quite complex statement, but what it does, it gives you the possibility to build topics and structure for the knowledge in your organization, and automatically or semi-automatically map existing documents, chats, emails, people across the organization to these topics. It is Teams, OneDrive, Outlook, SharePoint. So all these places will be monitored through the application and will give you possibility to map elements there through the knowledge you will structure inside the Viva Insights, inside the Viva Topics. This is premium version of the application. There's no free model. It is $5 per user per month. So you need to have good business case to use that application. This cost will have the structure that will help you. If you have any kind of research development team, or if you have large digitalized knowledge base in your organization, this is the perfect solution for you. I highly recommend to try it. There is also trial option to set up that kind of environment, and then across the Microsoft Teams, across other apps, other spaces, you will have the topics, people assigned to them, and the knowledge structured that you can map across multiple applications in the Microsoft 365. It is a very complex solution. It is expensive solution if you structure that for large volume of people in your organization. But again, if you're thinking about using that, check the trial version that you can use, play with it, and see if this is beneficial for you. I will share with you the instruction how to set up the trial and how to set up other applications. This will be also something that will be included to my email that I will send to you tomorrow. And we're getting to the last application in the Viva Connections. I don't see any questions in the chat. So if you will have any additional topics or something that was interesting from previous applications, share them in the chat window. I will get back to them. And we're getting to the Viva Connections. Viva Connections app is at the general level something very simple, but I will show you what could be really good business case to start using today. It is present. It is the application that brings the SharePoint to your Microsoft Teams. And in general, it sounds silly or not that effective that you can think, but I will show you real business cases, how it could be something that will deliver the value to your business users. It is already present. It's free, so it does not require any additional licenses. It is split to two sub-applications. So one is Microsoft Viva Connection Desktop, and one is Microsoft Viva Connection Mobile. And they are different. I will show you today both of them and show how you can use them to make your organization more efficient and engage your business users, especially the people that working remotely. And to do that, we will switch to the live demo of our SharePoint. So give me a second. I will check the questions in the chat. Yeah, Bartosz writing the questions. Okay, difficult question. What if not everyone have license to Viva Topics? That's correct. So this is the solution that is expensive, to be fair, and it's not something that that's why I'm saying it's good to have the business case. You need to have the product assigned to give you the possibility to get the features. So if you will not have the license assigned for Viva Topics, so subscription will be not bought by your organization. You will not get the functionality behind it. You can do that this way. So if you have just the research and development team, you can bought the licenses only for that part of your organization, and this will work. But again, it's good to have real good business case behind it, because this will be requiring some additional costs. The solution I will present today, Viva Connection, is free, so it's easier to deploy it quickly in your company. But if you're thinking about the Viva Topics, this is the element that really requires a business case, and sometimes it could be maybe 5%, 10% of the organization that will use it, but still, like research development team, works perfectly well. Thank you, Bartosz, for that question. And from perspective, one more element. Main dev. Do you know if there will be possibility to extend these Viva apps by SharePoint framework? And what exactly can be extended? So this is a really good question. I will address that from perspective of the Viva Connections, how you can extend that kind of application. It is possible, to be fair. From perspective of the Viva Learnings, I know that there will be possibility to develop some kind of connections to other platforms. Like if you have your custom local learning solution, this is something that you can integrate. There will be API. You can use SharePoint framework or any other code to do that. From perspective of the insights, I think there will be some customization, but quite small. Probably there's some kind of components you will be able to bring there. From perspective of the topics, this is something that is a roadmap. I saw if you will ever get to the Microsoft roadmap, I will also share the link with you about the Viva products. You will see that the longest roadmap is dedicated for the Microsoft Viva Topics. There will be a lot of elements that will be present there. Yep. So thank you for that question. And one more question from Darren. If the Viva currently available for the Microsoft Developer Network tenants? This is a really good question. So maybe before we will get to the Viva Connections live demo, I will answer that. It depends. So it depends if your tenant is set to get the most current updates from Microsoft. There is the setting on your Office 365 tenants, and it doesn't depend if this is developer environment or your production environment. It's called release preferences. Based on how you will set it up, then it will depend how fast you will get the new features. In general, I will show you today the features that will require target release tenant, so immediate rollout of the stable features. Basic setup, standard by design setup of the Office 365 is standard release, which delays rollout of that kind of feature. So it could happen that it could be present for you, but it will be present in 3 months, because this is the way how your environment is set it up. I will again send you the instruction how to change that settings to get that features faster, and some kind of concerns that you should discuss probably with your IT department, security department before made that kind of change, because this is global change. So this is something that you can manage on your side. And one more question. Yep, this is also great feedback. I will show you how to roll out Viva Connections. This is super easy. In general, it will gives you the possibility, and why it's important from my perspective to use Viva Connections. You will see that if you will have that feature on your tenant, you can deploy this application today. And I will describe a little more about the SharePoint itself and possible challenges connected with that part. In worst case, you will need 2 weeks to prepare something that can be delivered to your business users. You don't have to be developer, and it will impact the people right now. And also that's why I'm choosing Viva Connection as the first Viva app to present you, because this is something that you can leave the webinar, sit down tomorrow, get my email, and get step by step and set it up in a matter of hours rather than weeks. So Natalia, thank you very much for that feedback. I fully agree. So this is the approach I would recommend you. If you're thinking that it is something interesting for you, you will not have to wait. Of course, if the features are present, but you will be able to handle that. And before we will move forward to present the Viva connection in general, we need to stop for a moment and talk a little about the SharePoint itself. Viva Connections is the solution that brings SharePoint to Microsoft Teams. And most likely idea behind it is to use your intranet portal to be brought to your business users. And I know that intranet is a very difficult word and something that is scary, because many projects connected with rollout of the SharePoint-based intranet failed in the time. In last 10 years, I participated in many organizations that working in the SharePoint and have challenges to build the intranet. And I will give you a few tips what to do in case that you today have a SharePoint but doesn't have intranet at all, or you have the intranet which is totally dead. And from my perspective, this is totally fine. Why is that? Of course, I'm a big fan of SharePoint technology, but what you need to know, SharePoint to be live, you need to have the resources. So you need to have the people to deliver the content. Not every time it will be possible. So what I highly want to recommend you, get rid of the intranet word from perspective of the project like that. Start with the landing page. Start with something simple that you can deliver today, deploy it very quickly, and maybe delivers totally static content to your business users, but engage them today with something that you can deliver very quick. And then get the response, get the feedback from the business users, and extend it in time. So I highly recommend you more agile approach rather than waterfall approach. Do not plan big rollout if you doesn't have intranet yet. Just start to use SharePoint today and deploy something simple. I will show you what are the elements that you should focus on. I'm presenting you the live demo of the intranet portal built on SharePoint Online. This is the template. Of course, this is the complex intranet site. You can deploy exactly the same template on your tenant by few clicks. Again, I will include the instruction how to do that. This is something that could speed up your first steps. Left your email, or if you sign up, you will receive tomorrow exact instruction how to deploy that kind of template on your Office 365. This is totally free, provided by Microsoft. The only comment, you need to have global admin, so maybe you will need to ask your IT team to do that if you are not working in your IT department. But if you doesn't want to build that complex intranet, build the landing page for your business users. Deliver very simple elements like links to the most often applications that are used by your business users across the company. Link to the Outlook web access, to the Jira, ServiceNow, Salesforce, SAP, any kind of applications that you're using. Totally static links. Deliver it today. Deliver the links to the business processes of, if this is not digitalized yet, the templates that people need to use, Word documents that they need to download or fill in manually, but to build one centralized place that they can get the access to it. And it could be totally static, but if they will know that every time they will visit that page, they will find that kind of links, rather than looking to the bookmarks or asking somebody on chat or via email, do you know where I can send the leave request for the next holiday? This is the place to do that. Extremely simple solution, totally not rocket science technology, and works every time. If you have toolbox for the IT applications used across the company, business processes, implement them in the SharePoint Online. If you doesn't have access to the large volume of the announcements and news you can publish on SharePoint, deliver just small volume of the announcements from the C-level management. This is also something that people rather to investigate and looking for such information. So if you have at least 4 announcements per year, again, this will be something that will bring people here and gives them possibility to found announcements from the C-level management. Again, you can see that this is not something complex. And the last thing that I also want to recommend you, but this is more difficult, if you have any kind of fun events across your company, if you have beer Fridays, hopefully we will get to the times that something like that will happen again globally, then put the pictures here. And again, I will tell you, this is not something that will increase the productivity across the team, but it will bring the people here. And again, this is some very basic starting point for your company to get people attention about that, about this landing page, about the starting page, and then move them to the more complex elements in the agile way. So you can imagine, you can extend it multiple ways, in multiple steps, but start with something simple and quick. Of course, Natalia mentioned you can also bring here Yammer. This is something that also works quite well if you're building the communities about the beekeeping, about the hiking, about the photographing. These are the elements that you can implement here immediately, very quickly. This is native integration between SharePoint and Yammer. Again, no development needed, just use what is present here. And elements like dashboard. And this is something I want to show you. So this is the SharePoint intranet page that you can build. Start simple, start with the landing page rather than intranet, build it and then roll out it through the teams by Viva Connections, which I will show you shortly. But you can do one more thing, which could be very useful. And this is quite new feature of the Viva Connections. And this is the Viva Connections mobile. This is the button which were rolled out few days ago, maybe week plus. So again, if your tenant is not set to get the most current features, probably you can't see that. Or your site you're working on have to be set as a home site for your Office 365. Again, I will share with you instruction how to set it up. When you will go to the dashboard, it will give you the possibility to configure your Viva Connections for mobile. General idea behind this application is to build simplified structure for your intranet or something for the frontline employees. The most valuable business case I'm seeing here is to build, using that application, your company app. So if you are Contoso and you want to build the application that will be delivered to all employees across your company and want to navigate them to the most current business processes, most important announcements, this is the super easy way to do that. It doesn't require any development. The only thing you are doing is you configuring the web parts on your SharePoint page, building the links, building the structure, and navigates people through the elements. This is the tiles-based application that you can develop very quickly. And what is the greatest part about that? You will be able to roll out that to everyone in the company via Teams. And ask yourself if on your mobile there is a Teams application or not. Probably it is. So you can immediately push that application to everyone in the company. One comment, it took about 2-3 days after you will roll it out to Teams mobile to appear there. Michał writing that this is amazing. I totally agree when I saw that the first time, because this is the quite new feature of the Viva Connection. I also thinking this is really, really great, cool feature. And one more thing, what kind of applications or tiles you can use here? You have the web links, you have the Teams application. So if you already have any kind of Teams app, you can include it here, assign task, and designer card. This is something that is not present. It was for a moment that you can build some kind of more complex card with the buttons, with the description, and navigate people between different activities based on the settings. And what is great about that, you can extend it. This is also the question, answering the question from main dev profile. How to extend it. You can extend it using adaptive cards and build additional components that will extend that kind of functionality, like present number of available holiday days for the employee. I will also share with you the low-code generator that could help you to prepare that kind of cards that you can deploy to your Office 365 and then extend your dashboard using that. And you can see there's no coding here. This is something I love. I'm not the developer, totally not the developer. So this is something that I love about that. This is great idea to build your company main mobile application for your employees and navigates them through the most important elements. One more pro tip: if you will set it up, save it first, at least one draft versions, because this is bug/feature that if you will get back there, it will disappear. So save that version first, and then you will be able to get back there. So if you will set it up, your SharePoint landing page, your SharePoint dashboard that you can use and then deploy to your Microsoft Teams, then let's go to the applications and see how it works. So how to maybe before that, how to deploy that kind of app. You will see that it is super easy to do that. The only thing you have to do is go to your admin center, go to the Microsoft Teams, manage the apps, and then search for the Viva. 2 comments here. You can see that we have 3 Viva applications on the screen. We have the strange Viva app, which I will go back there for a moment. Viva Connections preview. Again, you need to have target release set up for your tenant to get the Viva Connections present here, and Viva Learning, which is blocked for my tenant. Yep, so this is also something, I'm not participating in the public preview of this app, so that's why I'm not able to share it with you. But Viva Connections, this is the application that gives you the possibility to configure what kind of SharePoint page do you want to publish there. And you can do that only one app like that. So this is quite important, but you don't have to do any kind of developer work. The only thing you have to do is to paste the SharePoint address here, and another element, then go to the policies, go to the global org policies, and pin this application, add this application, pin it here. It will automatically be deployed to the whole organization from perspective of the Teams client app and from perspective of the mobile application. Cheesy peasy, super easy solution to be deployed. So fully agree with Natalia. If you will set it up, that kind of landing page, you can easily push that to everyone in the organization, because everyone using Teams right now. And when I go back to the mobile application, I'll show you exact reason why this is the scenario that works, because you can easily engage your business users using Microsoft Teams because they're already there. You don't have to convince them. They will just open Microsoft Teams and see the application there. I will go there in a moment, but I will go back for a moment in here. So we have another Viva app. Viva Connections functionality were present in some time, but in the past it requires custom development. So this is the application that is developed by me, and develop this is a big word. You need to set up small XML manifest file, and then you can bring any kind of web or SharePoint based application to Microsoft Teams. What does it mean? It means that you can build multiple apps like that, name them whenever you want, and deliver them to your business users. And sometimes it could be quite useful, especially from perspective of, I don't know, you have rollout of the new product, or you have rollout of important element. You can build that kind of application, roll out it for the short period of time to your organization, and move the people there to navigate there easier way. You can imagine how difficult it is to get users' attentions. If you deliver that kind of app, you can do that very easy, very quick way. And this is also the answer if your business, if your IT department will not agree to change the setup of your tenant to get the solutions faster. You can build that kind of app and ask them to deploy that. Of course, if they will agree, I will share with you the instruction how to build that kind of application step by step. You can do that for whenever any page on the SharePoint with small limitations, which I will show you. Okay, so if we already deployed that kind of app through our admin portal to our environment, what we can do next? So we're getting back to our Microsoft Teams app. We're getting the new icon, and you can see we're getting the whole experience of the landing page prepared in the SharePoint. And again, there's no rocket science in here from perspective of what you can do, but if you will build at least valuable landing page for your business users, it's very easy to get their attention, engage them to use that kind of app, and then extend that app based on your needs, based on your preferences, based on your business challenges or business goals in your organization. Few elements that are also quite useful here to good to know about that. You can see that all these dashboard elements, you can embed them in the full SharePoint page. This is the dedicated web part. To do that, again, no development needed. And you have additional navigation in here, so you can easily get users to find the most important, most valuable links they're looking on the daily basis, and get rid of the nasty bookmarks in the browsers. Super simple solution. And just to see, you can see that we have also this another Viva app, which is custom app built on the very simple development level, and it works more or less similar way. So sometimes you can also get this navigation, which is present in here, but the dashboard doesn't work all the time. Sorry, I switched the screen. I misclicked. Yep. So let's go back to the Viva app. So navigation also working here. So this is also something that works, but some of the components from perspective of the dashboard does not render proper way. So it's worth to know about that. But again, if you want to build custom app, or you need to build the custom app and roll out it to the SharePoint, you can do that, deploy it. It's really easier to engage business users this way. And just quick look, you can also find the Insights application. This is the Microsoft Viva Insights, which delivers additional elements from perspective of so Piotr asking about this is also quite important. Is it possible to present different landing pages based on the different access groups? So in the policies in the admin center, I set the global policy for everyone. So this is the way how that kind of setup is done. Of course, you can differ policies across your organization and deliver different applications. One challenge, it could be maybe a little more difficult because Viva Connection is the only one app, but if you will build the custom application, then you can multiply it. So there's no problem about that. In general, you can do something like that. And insights we have here. So let's go for a moment and see how that kind of application works on the mobile device. So let me show you. So we have Android phone in here with the Microsoft applications, and what you can see, we will have there multiple Microsoft apps, and you can find there is something called SharePoint app, which you can also see delivers the same content we can see from perspective of the landing page included in the Viva connection. So why not using these applications, which is present and deliver very similar experience? Because nobody using that. It's really great app, works perfectly well, but it's not something that is installed on every phone in your organization. There is great search engine inside this app for looking for the contacts of the people. So if you want to search through the organization, found contacts with your colleagues, it's super easy to do that there. But in general, people doesn't use it. That's why Viva Connection is something deployed to the Microsoft Teams, because this is the app which is present on your employees' mobile phones, and you can use it. You will see we have very similar experience there. So we have also the navigation in the SharePoint, but it's not something that people will use in your company. And I tried that in the past. It's very difficult to convince people across the organization to do that. So that's why if you will move to the Microsoft Teams, it's better to use Viva Connections deployed there to present the SharePoint functionality as an application included in the Microsoft Teams, because everyone have that kind of app already deployed on their devices. So you can see you have the Viva Connection icon and you're getting the dashboard view. If you will get inside it, you see SharePoint experience exactly the way, but this first landing page is based on the based on the dashboard view, which we managed and configure on the SharePoint level. You have two additional panels. Feed is the newsletter, so it's some kind of maybe no newsletter, news aggregator across the organization. So also something quite useful. And resources, this is the navigation that was present on the left side on the Teams. So you can see this is simplified model of the apps. You can use the same content behind it, but present it different way. This is new feature. I highly recommend you to consider that, especially if you were thinking about using or deploying some kind of company-wide organization application. You can see this is also custom Viva apps, and this is just presenting the responsive view of the SharePoint, nothing more. So it's very simple approach. This custom Viva application, this is just the responsive view adapted to the mobile device. Doesn't have this dashboard functionality at all. So this is the limitation if you will decide to use custom Viva app for the Viva Connections. And from perspective of what we can do here, you can remember that deployment of that application is very, very easy. So if you will have that kind of feature present, roll out that for everyone in the organization will not require almost no additional complex work from your side. Build simple intranet that will be landing page. No intranet at all. Build the landing page, starting page for your company with the static content. If you doesn't have anything today, if you have intranet, use it. If not, build something simple, deliver the content that could import the most important information for the general worker in your organization. Use Viva Connections, deploy the Viva Connections in your company, use that SharePoint landing page and communicate about that. You can see this is not the process that requires a lot of development on your side, doesn't require as much technical skills. Especially, I will share with you the instructions how to build that kind of landing page. It's a matter of hours rather than weeks if you want to build something simple and something quick. And one more thing, which is also quite important, when you will do that and you will deliver that kind of landing page to engage your business users, check other Viva apps. You can see Insights, probably something that's already present on your tenant. Soon, next month, the learning will also be something that will be rolled out globally. And learning, if you ever seen something called Microsoft 365 Learning Pathways, so some kind of online training based on onboarding online training for the Office users, this is something similar, but much better. So you can also take some time, start working with Viva Connections, try Viva Insights, go to the Viva Learnings, which will be present probably next month. And these are the tools that you can use now to take care about well-being of your employees without much technical skills, without big projects, big budgets from perspective of how to do that. And especially I can confirm I'm using the Viva custom app for last 2 years, and this is something that make a difference on the customer side. So especially from perspective of engaging business users to get access to the data, and this dashboard view that gives you possibility to build mobile application is something which works perfectly well. So I also highly recommend you to consider that as a building your app for your company. And also one more thing, maybe from perspective of what Piotr asked. So can we differ some kind of landing pages? One more thing which is also present on the perspective of the SharePoint Online, there is something called audience targeting. So you can set up the permissions to the content on the SharePoint and present part of the navigations, applications, or the content inside your SharePoint page based on that setting. So you can group users across the organization from perspective of the access groups, security groups, and then decide what kind of content should be present to whom. So you can have one landing page that will be present to everyone, but everyone will see something different. This is more complex approach because it will require a lot of planning, a lot of setup to make it work. but at the same time, you will not have to have multiple landing pages to maintain. You need to think about that if you're thinking about such approach on your company, which will be the best approach, which will work for us, because both have advantages and disadvantages. And again, if you have any additional questions, feel free to ask. All these materials I did present today, instruction how to set it up, specific components, I will share the instructions with you. If you sign up, you will receive that tomorrow. If you did not, go to the office365@work.com/live, left your email there, or scan the QR code presented on the screen, use your mobile, and then put your email. I will send you the detailed instruction how to work with these elements. You will see in general level, this is not something that requires any advanced skills to make it work. Maybe you will need for some elements some assist from your IT team, but in general level, it's very, very simple. Okay, so if you have any additional questions, please feel free to leave them in the chat. I will also maybe share with you recordings of that webinar will be also shared with today's email. I will also ask you to fill some small survey if you will have any feedback, any recommendations, something that you like or something that you dislike about this webinar. I would really love to hear from you, what you think about that. And if you have ideas what you want to hear about next time, I will prepare some webinar, also share that feedback. I will love to read that. So I will give you 2 more maybe minutes to see if any additional questions came up to the chat about the Viva Connections or Viva Insights or Viva Topics. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat window. To be fair, I don't see that many questions. Yeah, so thank you very much. I see that a lot of you sending the feedback that thanks you also for participating. The idea is to share the knowledge with you, but also to get your feedback. Again, I would love to hear from you what could be the interesting topics that you will hear in the future. I will share with you the links to the survey, and I would love to hear the feedback from you about what will be interesting topics for the next webinar. So thank you, Hermin, thank you, Wayne, thank you, Piotr, for the positive feedback. Thank you very much for your time. And again, if you want to get all these additional materials, please leave your email in the office365.com/live or scan the QR code. So thank you very much. Have a good evening, good afternoon, and hear you at the next webinar. Thank you very much.